I'm Bill Addison, restaurant critic for the Los Angeles Times. Thus my torso. I try to keep a low profile for the work that I do. I am here in the LA Times kitchen today to talk about one of my abiding obsessions, the martini. One of the main things that I think is fun about making martinis for yourself is going to one of your local independent wine and spirits shops and having a conversation with someone about the gins that they think are cool and to your taste that you might not often see on shelves in bars and restaurants around Los Angeles. My favorite example of this is number 3, a London dry style gin. This isn't one that I see on restaurant menus in bars very often, and I love it. I love it for its really like crisp, clear balance of that juniper bite and kind of the citrus freshness that you're always looking for in martinis. Sipsmith is one that you're seeing more in restaurants these days, but is definitely one of my favorites. If it's summertime and I'm drinking gin and tonics, then a Bombay Sapphire is fine, but I'm not a fan of Bombay Sapphire for martinis. For that, I just want the original Bombay dry gin, and I am always happy when Beefeater is available because it's a great, well standard that really tastes like how I think a martini should register on the palate. I'm looking for a strong gin. I don't need too much going on. I don't need soft florals and botanicals, and I don't actually even like them to be too harsh either. I like a balance. It's an eternal debate among martini drinkers about how much vermouth should go in a martini or even if vermouth should go in martini. I think it should, and I think it's interesting to talk about. This is my favorite, Dolin, because the dry version is like a crisp, lightly fortified white wine. And as such, it's almost the chaser that you would imagine just from that description. And this one is also fun, Bordiga, smoother on the lighter side as well, which it turns out I like, so that the gin kind of has the forward expression. Now I'm gonna show you my go-to recipe for the perfect martini. Shaken or stirred? I believe in a stirred martini. I much prefer the dilution of water that happens when you stir a martini well. My secret is bitters. I like a couple dashes of orange bitters specifically in the martini, and I don't love Angostura bitters. I've tried it. I've experimented with a couple others. I think cardamom bitters are interesting. It's fun to experiment with different kinds of orange bitters. Fee Brothers is a very strong, very sweet flavor, which blends in nicely, I found. Regan's is also good. Bitter Queens, fun name. I like this brand as well. In the big wide world of cocktails, I like the bite. I like taking a sip of a martini and having that first searing sensation almost at the sides of the mouth. Then I like to taste the flavors that kind of come out of the martini as well. Having that bit of orange in there, I found, is a really subtle pheromone level. It adds just this kind of mysterious roundness. Let's talk about garnishing for a minute. I like the metal picks. They're cheap and easy to find and, you know, kind of classy. These wooden ones are fantastic for parties. There's this doohickey. I'm sorry that I don't know the official bartending name of it. This is for making the lemon garnish, and depending on how fancy you want to be with it, I like to twist mine around the metal pick a little, so I'm looking for some length, so I often twist around. I like both lemon and olive in my martini, and also one of the things about making a martini at home is that you get to garnish it any way that you feel like. If I'm making 4-ounce martini, which is a healthy pour, you can also divide that between 2 people. I like 3.5 ounces of gin and a scant 1/2 ounce of vermouth. I don't add the bitters at the end. I like them mixed in here as well. Literally 1, 2, that's it. Bar spoon, fun to have. I like a lot of ice. There are even debates about how long to stir martini. Some people say 15 seconds. I like it closer to 30 seconds. And see, you can almost even see like the texture of it, the kind of thickness of it, the viscosity of it. Yep, it just kind of like ripples up the palate kind of as a sensation first, and then the taste is just really crisp and clean, and I like the sweet roundness that you get.